The Detroit Pistons came into Staples Center ranked 13th in the East, having gotten smacked by the Clippers in the same building a few days before. But on this night, they were facing the number 1 ranked LA Lakers, led by LeBron James. Playing without 3 of their top 4 players, this looked like a bleak situation for Dwayne Casey and his unheralded minions.
Everything's got to go right to beat the top team in the league.
But desperation can lead to inspiration, and the Pistons tried something that got them so close they could almost taste the victory. The Pistons rank 10th in the league in drives per game, and the Lakers are far and away the leader in blocks per game, so something had to give. Well, it looked like the guys from Detroit said, "F it, let's just attack the rim and see what happens." They increased their drives to a whopping 63, which would lead the league if they did this nightly by 5 drives. And the results were interesting. There are 5 basic things that can happen when you decide to drive for a shot. You can make it, miss it, turn it over, get fouled, or it can get blocked. Well, the Lakers blocked 20 of these, more than any team in almost 19 years. So let's pull apart what happened as a direct result of the blocks themselves, and from a Pistons standpoint, it was downright ugly. I'm not used to seeing so many block shots not only stay in bounds, but go right to the defensive team, and these triggered quite a number of fast breaks. On 4 of these blocks, the Lakers got right down the court and either hit a 3-pointer or generated an and one right at the basket. This makes sense since a drive generally means you're not in great position to get back, and it's safe to say the Lakers took advantage. But these blocks also led to 2 of the more vicious, crowd-erupting plays we'll see all year from the Forum Blue and Gold. It's already scary enough to see LeBron bearing down on you in the half court, but when it's off a block shot and in transition at full speed, either you're going to get an alley-oop to Anthony Davis, which is basically their trademark play this year, or LeBron will patiently wait for the weak sauce that Drummond throws up here and Dwight gets a fingernail on, brings it up court all by himself, then realizes that Drummond is taking his own sweet time to get back to the paint, turns the corner, and then just decimates the rim. And let's not overlook the added style points with the pullback tomahawk exclamation point. But wait, there's a flip side to this coin. Sometimes the Pistons would get the ball back in an advantageous position as well. This block led to a baseline out of bounds play, a great way to generate easy points, and LeBron must have seen Medusa's face sitting in the front row since he became an utter statue, allowing the cut and the smosh at the rim. This block led to a scrum for the ball and a foul in the bonus, 2 more points from the free throw line as a direct result of the drive and the block. And when JaVale McGee sent this shot flying into the 3rd row, the foul was reviewed, then rescinded, and it led to a beauty of a sideline on a bounce play that caught Danny Green and KCP all sorts of confused, but Christian Wood quite amused. All told, the Lakers turned 20 possessions of block shots into 20 points, while the Pistons generated 8 points off of those plays. So a net positive 12 in the Lakers' favor. However, we now have to look at the fouls the Pistons generated on these drives. There were 8 of them, and it led to 14 points for a fantastic 1.75 points per possession. Another benefit of putting your head down and driving hard to the hoop is you can get your opponent in foul trouble and limit their minutes on the court. Remarkably, the fouls were spread out so much that none of the Lakers had their minutes limited by fouls, which perhaps begs the argument that they should have driven even more and forced the refs to blow their whistles. The next level to looking at the risk and reward of attacking the rim is that when generating foul shots, it allows your defense to get back in position for the next possession. The Pistons had 8 drives that generated free throws, and on the immediate possession afterwards, the Lakers managed 8 points, which is a solid 1 point per possession and a little bit above their overall efficiency for the game. This is probably a wash with no real advantage to the Pistons. By the way, I was intrigued by the free throw form of both Andre Drummond and Dwight Howard, as they seem to be a little related. And it would have been even easier to compare these two if I were in the arena in person, which is where you should be by getting seats from the best ticket app online, SeatGeek. Download SeatGeek now to your phone, and you'll get the best tickets for any sporting event, concert, or the theater. In just a few taps, you'll be able to see what seats are available, the prices are graded to let you know if you're getting a great deal, they've got seating charts and viewpoints from each seat, and best of all, if you use my code BBALL, you'll get $20 off your first purchase. So use the SeatGeek app, save $20 off your first purchase, and get great seats so you can see up close and personal whether these drives to the hoop and all the block shots were worth it. When you examine all their drives that led to shots at the hoop and weren't blocks, the Pistons scored 15 points in 16 possessions. But when you factor in the other 6 drives where they were fouled and it didn't register as a field goal attempt, it ends up being 24 points in 22 total possessions, 1.09 points per possession, and definitely worth putting the ball on the deck and getting into the lane for shots. Another equalizer for a shorthanded team is the 3-ball. Interestingly, they took 6 less shots from there than their average. No doubt because they made the conscious decision to drive more, and the fact that sharpshooting Luke Kennard was one of the injured players not on the court. But they did utilize the transition 3 to their advantage, and the 4 that they did hit in this game were all instrumental in big runs that either kept them close or extended their lead later in the game. This game ended up being very competitive, with tons of highlights on both sides and wild runs back and forth that kept it entertaining and, more importantly, close to the very end. In the post-game interview, Coach Dwayne Casey was asked about all those blocks.
The 20 blocks. We talked to our guys about, kickouts, doing the midgets and getting back out. We continue to go in there, and those 20 blocks are almost like maybe 15 turnovers and race to go the other way.
The Lakers scored on 8 of those, but many of them were three-point plays. So it wasn't quite like 15 turnovers. What I found interesting was that it didn't seem like the excess driving to the hoop was an idea from the coaching staff. Based on these numbers, you could argue that was too bad, since had the coaches encouraged them to drive a little bit more and traded another block for a few more free throws and a set defense, maybe, just maybe, the Pistons could have scored one of the bigger upsets in the league this year. And without question, more coaches at every level should be looking at this blueprint for their teams. For if you can teach your players how to draw contact on their way to the hoop and make transition threes, then you'll be giving your underdog team the best chance they have at winning. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to B-Ball Breakdown so you can get alerted right away when we drop a new video. This season will be filled with incredible content, so don't miss it. You in?